Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got a very special video set for the day. So given that it's 2022, that means that it's a very special year for us footballing fans. 2022 is going to be the year of the World Cup. This year's going to be played in Qatar, and well, it's going to be played in November this year. That doesn't stop us from trying to predict, what's going to happen later on into the year. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and rank my early World Cup predictions. I'm going to go ahead and give them out. It's ridiculously early. The teams haven't even been announced yet. We don't know what players or squads are going to pick. But we're going to go ahead and go and see based off of what we've seen in World Cup qualifiers and what we've seen in the past. Shout out to the Telegraph for making this predictor. So let's go ahead and go get started. Starting in the group stages with Group A, we've got Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands in here. So naturally, I want to say the Netherlands are going to go through. The Netherlands are going to be Group A. Out of these four teams in this group, this is the strongest squad, in my opinion, with the likes of Memphis Depay, Frankie de Jong. You've got Ake in there, De Ligt. It just Quincy Promes. It just looks like a stronger team than the other three nations that are in this group. Now, this is where things get tricky for me here because I want to put Ecuador mainly because of what they've been doing in the qualifiers and the CONMEBOL qualifiers. I want to put them there, but you can't discard Senegal. So I think between these two is going to be very close. And then you got to add in that Qatar are the home nation. And that always plays a little bit more of a like boost for morale when it comes to the way the team plays, the way the team acts. So adding that all into consideration, I still think Senegal are going to go through. Senegal are going to be the second team to go through, but I feel like it's going to be very close between these three teams, between Ecuador, Qatar, and Senegal. It's going to be ridiculously close between these three. And then I want to say it's going to be Ecuador, and then unfortunately Qatar will be last. Not something you want to hear from the host nation, but it is what it is. Moving on to Group B, then we've got England, Iran, the US, and Wales. Naturally, England should go ahead and finish this group. This should be number one between these. Should be an easy win against Iran. Should be a good game between the U.S. and Wales, but maybe trickier ones. But they should be coming out on top. There's no reason as to why England shouldn't be coming on top. I'm gonna go ahead and put the U.S. as second. Um, Contrary to popular belief, contrary to what many would think, I think the U.S. actually has a very promising squad. They've got a ton of young players. They do lack though that like World Cup-ish experience, which probably could bring them down a bit. But I'm American. I'm saying we're going through. There's nothing else you can say about that. Wales coming in third and Iran being last. Group C, we've got Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. This this isn't that difficult of a group for me. Argentina should be coming out on top. I feel like Argentina are my favorites for this World Cup. Argentina should be coming out on top. There's no reason as to why Argentina shouldn't be number one in the group, considering the other three opponents. Now, here's where things get tricky. It's between Mexico and Poland for me for second place. Mexico has not been doing good um, on a footballing wise. They have not been doing good. The nation hasn't been doing good. They've lost to the U.S. a couple times. They lost out in the Nations League, lost out in the Gold Cup, and it's not looking favorable for them this year either. So I just because of the way they've recently been playing, I want to say it's going to be Poland over Mexico, and then Saudi Arabia being last. Could change though once we get the full selections of the squads. The players are going to be heading out to Qatar. Group D, we've got the current World Cup winners: France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia. France should win this group. No reason why. Um, I don't know. Maybe the World Cup winners curse comes into play, and maybe we'll see something ridiculous. France maybe not making it out the group, but I think with the way that the group is structured and the players that France have, there's no reason as to why they shouldn't not make it out the group, especially make it out number one. There's no reason as to why they shouldn't. I'm gonna put Denmark as second. Again, I just think they have a better squad than the likes of Australia and Tunisia, but I don't see anything else. And I did not see Australia third and Tunisia second, fourth. Sorry. Moving on to Group E, we've got Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. I'm gonna. This is something that many of you might not agree with me for, but I'm going Spain as number one. I think Spain has ridiculous talent coming in with Gavi, Pedri. You've got a De Gea, a good De Gea in goal to probably play when I see one, to be honest. You've got maybe a Sergio Ramos that'll be back to full fitness, given one final run. You've got like Pau Torres, Eric Garcia. You've got a lot of like a perfect balance, I'd say, between the likes of experienced players and new upcoming players. So I feel like Spain really have a good chance in this World Cup. I'll put Germany as second because they're Germany. They're a big powerhouse in these World Cups. They have a great team, have a great fans, a great nation. They obviously always ball out. They won the World Cup like what 8 years ago in 2014. So there might be a possibility of a repeat there. But these two are just the stronger teams in the likes of the in comparison to Costa Rica and Japan, to be honest. And then it should be Japan, should be Costa Rica as last. I don't really see Costa Rica as fighting as much as it should be. I mean, in 2014 they did surprise everybody, but it's the same squad. They've aged ridiculously, and I don't really see much hope there. Besides, Keylor Navas pulling off a masterclass. There's really not much you could see there. Moving on to Group F, you've got Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Obviously, here in Group F should be Belgium going through. There's I don't see any other reason as to why Belgium shouldn't be going through as number one. They should win this group. There's no other way I could see this happening. And then this is where for second place is a bit tricky for me. It's between Canada and Croatia. Realistically speaking, it has to be between those two. Croatia, who we know are runners up, they came second place in the 2018 World Cup. But I really feel like Canada has something to prove. They haven't qualified for a World Cup in what, like, I think it was like 20 years, 18 years, something like that. It's been a long time since Canada have made an appearance into a World Cup, and I feel with the likes of like Jonathan Davis and Jonathan David, my bad, and Alfonso Davies, there's gonna be like there's a nice way. I've seen them play. I saw them play the CONCACAF qualifiers, and they have spirit too. So I'm gonna go Canada here second, Croatia third, and Morocco fourth. This might come back to bite me in a few months, but I really think Canada will make it over Croatia. Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. I promise, this feels like the same exact group Brazil were in 2018. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, but Brazil going first to Brazil. Come on, they've won the most World Cups out of anybody here. There's no reason as to why they shouldn't win. Between Serbia and Switzerland, it's a bit more difficult. I'm gonna go, huh? It's actually a more difficult one, but I'm gonna go Switzerland second, Serbia third, and Cameroon finishing out fourth. In this final group, this is an interesting group. This is a very interesting group for me. Group H, you got Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and Korea. Obviously, Ghana and Uruguay they have a little bit of beef in 2010 because of that handball from Luis Suarez. So a little bit of back, maybe like a what's the word I'm looking for? Bit of revenge coming into play there. But I think Portugal have the better team, realistically speaking. Like taking out Cristiano Ronaldo out of context, Portugal have a better team in general than the rest of the three nations in here. They've got the likes of the Ruben Diaz, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, it looks like a good team to me, in my opinion, especially with their younger players like Renato Sanchez, Vitinha coming up. They look like a pretty good team with Joao Felix in there. And then I'm gonna go Uruguay second, Ghana, and then South Korea. That's how I think the group stages are gonna go on. Moving on then to the round of 16. If everything goes according to how I've gone, you're gonna have the Netherlands and the U.S. in the first quarterfinal game. I mean, round of 16 game. My bad. In which case, unfortunately for us Americans, the Netherlands will go through. There's no reason that it might be a more like a tougher game, a tighter match, but I feel like the Netherlands will pull through on it. But the U.S. won't go down without giving it a fight. There's no way. But the Netherlands will go through. Between Argentina and Denmark, it'll be a good game, but Argentina are just winning it. There's no way. I don't see Denmark really beating Argentina. Like they'll probably give them a fight, but there's no way. I don't see any way of Argentina losing to Denmark, to be honest. Which moves on to the next one. England are definitely beating Senegal. There's no way. There is no way. Unless, it's the World Cup, it's a special game. On paper, something will look one way, but football has a way of twisting things. And maybe Senegal might pull something off, but on paper, it should be England. Between France and Poland, then which would be the next round of 16 game, France are going through. I don't see it happening. No, yeah, France would go through. Between Spain and Canada, Spain. There's no fighting there. Between Brazil and Uruguay, this one would be interesting for me. This one would actually be very interesting because we both know they've played each other in the Conmebol, and the qualifiers. They're from the same. They're from South America, so they know each other's style of play. But I feel like Brazil has a much younger squad full of potential compared to Uruguay. I mean, Uruguay are still relying on both Cavani and Suarez as their front line. They've got Darwin Nunez in there, but I don't really see I mean, anything could happen to be fair, but Brazil should win for me. Brazil should be going on ahead and winning for me. Between Belgium and Germany, Belgium have had such an amazing squad over the years, but they just can't do anything. Like they haven't won anything with that golden generation of like Lukaku, Dries Mertens, De Bruyne. There's nothing. I don't know what it is, but Belgium have just been lacking in general when it comes to that. So just because of that, because they have that tendency to not win anything and kind of choke, I'm gonna go Germany. And then between Portugal and Switzerland, it should be Portugal. That's all I'm saying. It should be Portugal. That moves us on to the quarterfinals. Then the Netherlands and Argentina, a repeat of that 2014 semifinal. And for me, looking at the squads, what the potential squads could be, the Argentinian players play so much nicer when they have that Argentinian jersey on that I feel just pure passion wise, they're beating the Netherlands. Like that's not even including into the account how they're actually playing stuff. I feel like Argentina have this set in the bag. Between Spain and Brazil, see now this one would be an amazing game to be fair. Between Spain and Brazil, this one's tough because both teams have like a perfect balance right now of younger players that are coming up and veterans that have been through World Cups that have won things. And it's a difficult one to be honest. This one could go either way. I feel like this one would end up going to penalties, in which case I feel like Spain would win. If it does go to the final depths, I feel like Spain would win. Between England and France, this is where it gets tough. France on paper have a better team, have better players on paper, but the English players play completely different when they put on that white jersey. Like if you've seen Harry Maguire play, this man cannot kick a ball for like the death of him at United. But put him in an England kit, and this man is balling out. Like there's no didn't like I don't know what it does. Like they're pure passion merchants to be fair. And in this, I'll go with England. I'll go bold and I'll go with England beating France. Between Germany and Portugal, just because of a Cristiano Ronaldo bias, we're going with Portugal. Just because of a Cristiano Ronaldo bias, which leads us to the semifinals of Argentina and Spain. Very, very interesting. Argentina and Spain in the first semifinal. And like I said, Argentina are favorites for me. Argentina are going through. I'm going to ignore what the common sense, what I've been saying about Spain having a nice team and everything. And I'm going to go with Argentina are going to be the first finalists. England and Portugal. See, everybody, the world will go crazy if we get a Portugal versus Argentina World Cup final. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to go with England. And we're going to have a repeat of this. Which one was that? The 1988 World Cup final, in which case Argentina will win it. And there you are, ladies and gentlemen. I am predicting that Argentina are going to be winning the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. This has been my whole prediction of how the groups are going to play out, how the whole tournament is going to play out. Let me know in the comments below what you guys would change or who do you guys think are actually going to win. But for me, Argentina are very much my clear favorites to go ahead and win this World Cup, especially considering Messi. I feel like Messi's gonna ball out this season. He had a last season. This season he's gonna go out. Like I just feel it. Like it's his year this year, especially considering he's already tasted what it is to win the trophy with Argentina with the Copa America. It's gonna be very interesting to see how this World Cup plays. I'm thinking Argentina are gonna be the World Cup winners. Let me know in the comments below, guys, how you guys would rank this, what you guys would change. And as always, take care, have fun, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.